Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is mostlydarius. This is The Discussion, and today we're going to be discussing Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 14, Episode 4, Twisted Sisterhood. Before I get into the recap, I want you guys to hit the subscribe button to help my channel grow. Make sure you give a big thumbs up to this video if you enjoy reality TV recaps and also like to watch other housewife shows. And make sure you share this video with other people you know like to watch recaps, of course. Now, before I get into this recap, I do want to say Beverly Hills has been a little bit boring this season. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm recapping it because I really do want to do like all the way from episode 1 to the end. But what I will say is that it's not really giving me much. Like, I'm tired of looking at Dorit and Kyle fight. I honestly don't really care anymore at this point. It's getting redundant. Like, how many times do we have to keep discussing the same things over and over? You know what I'm saying? But you guys know I don't like to stay too long. I like to get right into the recap. So let's go. So we continue the dinner at Oceanside from the last episode when Dorit and Kyle are arguing. Dorit says she must have blind loyalty to Kyle. If she doesn't, she'll punish her by not talking to her. Kyle admitted it, and then they started flashing back to what Dorit said about her fashion show, and apparently Kyle didn't speak to her for 6 months. Now, 6 months. Don't they film for like 6 months, I think, right? So did Kyle not talk to Dorit the whole time they weren't filming? Because if so, Dorit, I don't know how you thought that was your real friend. I can't say that though, because I've not talked to friends for quite a few months too, but I don't know about that because the way people make it seem is like Kyle just be like icing you out, like she ain't never had nothing to do with you ever. So I don't know. Dorit said that it was a joke, but when Kyle makes a joke, it's okay for her to do it. So they started flashing back to when Kyle made a joke about an Italian themed party that Dorit threw. Now, to Dorit's face, Kyle was like, the party is nice, it looks amazing, but in her confessional, she was making jokes about it. Sutton looked surprised they were even going back that far. And at this point, everybody at the table is looking at them like, okay, what are we really arguing about? And honestly, it felt like I was watching a ping pong match. Like, bing, 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 bing. Like, one person say something, another person say something. They weren't like nobody get a word in. Now, that is peak Housewives when two wives are arguing at the table and nobody else at the table can get a word in. However, I was getting a little bit exhausted because it just felt like they were just not coming to any resolution. Kyle started bringing up how she was going through a lot because of the death of her best friend and the divorce of her husband. So Dorit was saying that, I know you've been going through a hard time, Kyle. That's why I wasn't trying to give you a hard time. So I guess when Kyle was like, oh, can you give me a little bit of grace at Sutton's party? Dorit was like, give you a little bit of grace. Like, girl, I've been doing that. Like, grace time is over. And honestly, I'm there with Dorit when she said that because honestly, I feel like Kyle is the one that always asks for a lot of grace. But I don't know, does Kyle really give grace to other people? If she has, let me know in the comments because I haven't seen it. I was watching the Humble Brag podcast. If you guys don't know, Cynthia from Real Housewives of Atlanta and Crystal from Beverly Hills, they have their own podcast. Crystal was saying how she thinks that Dorit has a smaller circle, so she may have valued Kyle more than Kyle valued her because Kyle has a bigger friendship group and Dorit just may be a little smaller in that group. So I kind of could see that too because honestly, if I was Dorit and I had a small friendship group and Kyle was like one of my closest friends, I would be a little hurt if I lost her. Now, I'm not saying that Kyle isn't hurt. I'm just saying that it's probably not as hurt as Dorit is. But I can't speak for Kyle. Only she can, right? So anyways, Dorit told Kyle that she doesn't get to pick and choose when it's okay to joke, when she wants to be friends, and when it's convenient. And she doesn't appreciate how Kyle treated her when she does something wrong. Another thing Dorit brought up was how when she told Erica about the text Kyle sent her at the reunion, she asked Erica, like, how would you feel if Kyle sent this text message to you? And Erica was like, I would probably feel manipulated. She was basically bringing that up to say, like, okay, you didn't get mad at Erica for saying that, but she felt the same way that I did, right? So Kyle said she was hurt by it, but that wasn't the only thing that Erica did. So I guess that didn't really, like, rattle her too much, but I just call it bullshit. I just think that Kyle's a little bit scared of Erica and her mouth. I mean, we all seen Erica take the group down by herself effortlessly, so I really don't think that, Kyle didn't feel like a stronger way about it. I just think that she's not going to go toe-to-toe with Erica in the argument. My personal opinion. Dorit also mentioned how when Erica was on Watch What Happens Live, Andy asked Erica about Kyle's divorce and how she thought everything was going to go at the reunion. Erica was just like, I was eviscerated at the reunion when I was going through my divorce, so I hope everybody gets the same treatment. So Erica jumped in the argument with Kyle and Dorit at this point because I was wondering if Erica was going to say something because there's only so many times you can bring up somebody's name at the table. They're sitting right there and they're not going to say something. Erica jumped in and she let it be known what she meant, but Dorit wasn't really having a problem with what Erica said. She was just saying that if she said something like that, Kyle would be pissed. So Kyle was like, I got an apology from Erica, so I guess that's why Kyle's not upset. Like I said, I call bullshit. So on the after show, Erica was saying she wasn't really saying that to get at Kyle. She was really saying that to get at Andy because when she was going through her divorce with Tom Girardi, she felt like everybody was interrogating her, which is fair. And I understand, I honestly do feel like that was Erica's true intention behind that. I don't think she was going at Kyle. But also I could see her going at Kyle because Kyle was always in everybody's business. So it's time to be in your business now. let's get it popping. Because she was acting like she didn't want to tell us no details about her and Morgan Wade or her and Mauricio last season, which I understand she was going through it, but everybody's going through their little thing. You don't give everybody else that grace. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Kyle, you can't have it both ways, baby girl. You can't have it both ways. Bowles was saying how none of the women give you what they really think at face value. She started mentioning the lack of directness from the ladies and says that she'll have to figure out what all the fuss is about and what all their drama is about as she gets to know them more. Sutton spoke up in the middle of the argument between Dorit and Kyle. She said she's also experienced the punishment of Kyle not speaking to her for months. She said that she called Kyle out for it and she admitted to saying that she should fix it about herself. Sutton said that she hoped there's a fixable situation between the two because she's never seen Dorit be this angry in the 5 years that she's known her. Dorit was like, yeah, I am angry. And so Kyle rolled her eyes. And Dorit was like, whenever she's confronted Kyle about things that she's done to her in the past, Kyle would use the excuse like, oh yeah, I was mad. So Kyle issued an apology for her actions and for what she said on Watch What Happens Live. Dorit accepted her apology and she also apologizes for reading Kyle's text to people. Erica leaned over to Bowles, and this is like a true lawyer's ex-wife thing right here. She was like, always keep your messages, girl. Don't delete anything. I was cracking up because I'm like, that is such an Erica Girardi statement. So Dorit also apologized for what she said on Watch What Happens Live because it was a joke, and Kyle started reiterating the fact that it hurt her. And I'm like, bro, Kyle, she's apologizing. Like, we don't have to keep, like, we know you're hurt. She knows you're hurt. That's why she's apologizing. So Dorit was like, I'm sorry that it hurt you, Kyle. So Kyle was like, I hate that type of apology because it kind of negates the apology and it doesn't really feel like it's genuine or like you want to own the things that you've done. So Dorit lets Kyle know that whenever she's hurt her in the past, she's been able to apologize. So Kyle was like, no, that's not true. And of course, Garcelle disagreed. Now, I'm about to hop on a Garcelle bandwagon, to hate on her like the rest of y'all do. But I'm like 50-50 with this because I feel like there has to be some time on the show where Dorit has apologized, but I could definitely see why they don't feel this way. It's not like it's the easiest to get an apology out of Dorit. Like, sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get one out of her, and by the time you get it, you don't even want it. Dorit said that she wasn't really surprised about Garcelle agreeing, and I mean, it is what it is. Like, Dorit, you were acting a little bit out of pocket last season. Garcelle had to check you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know a time that Garcelle had a problem with Dorit besides that time, but Kyle said she came to dinner looking for resolution, and Dorit came looking for a fight. I don't really agree with that. I think that it was time for Dorit to say what she had to say. Now, I do want to say, I don't appreciate how Sutton jumped in the conversation, and I don't appreciate how Garcelle jumped in the conversation. They should have sat there and ate their food because honestly, nobody else deserved to talk about it except Erica because she was the one that kept being mentioned. Now, I will say, on the yacht that they got on later on this episode, and we'll get to that, I thought it was funny that Sutton and Garcelle, who are best friends, went to go talk to Dorit and Kyle. So Sutton and Dorit were having their separate conversation, and Garcelle and Kyle were having their own conversation. I thought that was interesting because, it's kind of like the, not battle of best friends, but it's like best friend pair here, and then they go over there. I don't know how to explain it. Y'all get what I'm saying, though. We get to the next morning. Bowles was speaking with her daughter about their trip to Brazil. Garcelle and Sutton, they had their own little conversation. And they were speaking about the dinner the night before. Sutton said she felt like they were in divorce court. Garcelle said that the fight felt different from the other fights that Kyle and Dorit have had. And ultimately, Sutton just kind of wanted them to get it over with. So Dorit took a visit to Erica's room. And she said she felt like the dinner was the first step for her and Kyle because she finally got some stuff off her chest. Erica sat her down and she was like, I understand how you feel because she's been through the same thing. Erica was just saying that she worries for Dorit's mental space. And she kind of gives like a valid excuse to Dorit in regards to her delivery when it comes to saying things that may come across like she's angry. Now, notice I said she gave her a valid excuse because you can give somebody excuses all you want, but I don't think excuses really matter sometimes when you're a nasty person. But I do know that Dorit is going through a lot, so you know what I'm saying? But I could see how that's a little annoying because everybody on the show is going through a lot of things, so it doesn't really give her that much of an excuse to be nasty, you know what I'm saying? But I could understand though, because with a friend like Kyle, you might not always be in the best mood. Now, Dorit was saying that she just wanted to be around people that make her feel good, that she can trust, and that she likes. She was also saying she had enough going on in her life that she had to be strong for. She was putting her foot down with PK and now Kyle. In another room, we got Jennifer, Kyle, and Kathy. And Jennifer was saying that she had a lot of fun the day before. She was actually enjoying the little dispute between Dorit and Kyle. Kathy said she felt like it was a tennis match. We was watching one housewife go, another one. It's just like they were going back and forth. And the sound effects they put was hilarious because it was like the actual tennis match sounds. And all the ladies' head was like turning back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, exactly. That is exactly how I felt when I was watching the argument. Like I told y'all, that's peak Housewives. When the girls are talking so much that nobody else can get a word in, that's what I want to see on my screen. Well, not all the time, because I love when they get along, but in terms of an argument, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody else. I want to hear from the girls that's arguing. Kathy encouraged Kyle to have a conversation, and Kyle said that she will if she feel like it, but she already tried to, and she doesn't want to keep doing it. I just think that Kathy probably sensed that Kyle wanted to get a little more off her chest, but part of me feels like Kyle doesn't really want to go back into it because Dorit was eating her up at the table. I just feel like she didn't want to go back into it. I just feel like she didn't want to keep getting ate up, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that was really what it was. The ladies gather up to meet before they get on the boat, and Jennifer sent me when she said something like JoJo Siwa. Like, Sutton really does give a JoJo Siwa vibe. I don't know how to explain it. Like, she just does. Dorit arrived and Kyle's face was looking really nervous. She still decided to speak though, and Dorit gave her a little hi, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. And Kyle said in her interview she felt awkward and she was ready to start the punishing again. And I'm like, that's not the flex you think it is. Like, this is everybody's problem with you now, the punishing. Like, what? Like, who are you? So the ladies got on these little semi-golf cart looking vehicles so they can arrive in style, as Kathy said. And Bose and Garcelle went on their own, and Bose was asking Garcelle, like, have you ever been on a boat with the ladies before? Garcelle was like, yes, in Mexico when Erica was trying to figure out her balance of pills and alcohol. And Bose was like taking it back. But you know what I will say is that at least Garcelle said they were all a mess because she could have easily singled out Erica, but that wouldn't be fair, right? Kyle gave a funny story about Kathy needing an extra toothbrush and shared how Kathy ended up using her eyeshadow brush to brush her teeth. I almost threw up in my mouth. I'm gonna assume she didn't use a brush before. I'm gonna just assume that. I'm just gonna assume that. So, anyways, we get on the boat. The boat looked really nice, of course. I expect nothing less. Sutton introduced herself to the captain, and she thinks that he's very cute, like to the point where she started fantasizing about the captain in her interview. Kathy started talking to the chef, telling him how he needs to barbecue. Kyle was like, I'm so embarrassed. Like, next thing you know, she's gonna be telling the captain how to drive the boat. And I'm like, that's exactly Kathy Hilton core. Like, she is the type to like come to your party and tell you how to throw it. And as I just couldn't get with somebody like that in real life. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, she cool for the show, I guess, but I couldn't deal. So they all went to go sit down. Kyle was looking for Dorit and Erica, so they arrived, and Dorit was grabbing her drink. And Kyle asked Garcelle if Dorit spoke to her, and she said no. It doesn't really shock me that Dorit didn't speak to Garcelle because you tried to jump in their fight the day before. Did you forget that? I wouldn't have spoke to her if I was in Dorit's shoes either. You know what I'm saying? I don't really. Who did Dorit speak to first, really? I mean, I think she probably said like, "Hey, ladies," or something. Maybe I need to go rewatch the episode. I'm doing a recap. I shouldn't have to go rewatch, right? But no, who did Dorit really say hi to? Because she didn't say hi to Kyle either. Kyle said hi to her first. I don't know. If I was in Dorit's shoes, I wouldn't have spoken to Garcelle either after she jumped in my fight. The lunch came out. Kyle asked everybody if they slept good the night before. Sutton mentioned that she had allergies and how it gets her like stopped up. And Kathy was like, I get that too. But she also mentioned how Sutton had been talking a lot. And Kyle and Kathy started joking that her throat must be sore. So speaking of sore throats, Sutton had mentioned how Dorit and Kyle had been talking a lot at dinner, and she wanted to know how they were feeling. Dorit said she felt like she needed to get a lot of things off her chest, but she felt better now that she had released it and her feelings were coming from a place of hurt. She reassured Kyle that she loved her and doesn't hate her, and I thought that was kind of nice that she did that because honestly, like, that shows that she really wants to move forward with Kyle, unlike what Kyle was saying, like, oh, she came looking for a fight, I came looking for a resolution. Like, no, Dorit does want to move forward with you, but she also wants you to understand the things that you do hurt her. Kyle started crying and she mentioned how it hurt her feelings that they were both going through the same thing and they should be focusing on that rather than fight with one another. And this is what I was saying in my previous recaps, y'all. It's kind of crazy that Kyle and Dorit are literally going through the same thing right now in life and they can't even be there for each other because they so focused on like petty drama. And I don't know, I don't like that. And Dorit was saying how ironic it was that PK and Mauricio were like closer than ever, but they're not that close right now. And so they both issued apologies to one another and said that they wanted to move forward with the friendship. So everybody gave a little cheers to that, and then they got ready to go see the rest of the boat. Sutton invited Dorit to go chat with her, and then Garcelle and Kyle go and chat with one another. So in Garcelle and Kyle's conversation, they were basically talking to each other, catching up. Garcelle asked Kyle how she was doing. She said that she felt a lot better regarding her and Dorit's situation. She felt like they were going in the right direction. And Garcelle said that she's glad that they're getting along because everybody's going through something. So she started opening up to Kyle about what's next for her as a woman. And she said she's happy in her career, but it feels like something's missing. The kids are leaving soon, so she thinks that's where it comes from. And I think Kyle can relate because, Kyle only has Portia at the house. And she was saying that a lot of women's identities lie in the fact that they're a mom and a wife. And so they both seem to be struggling with the idea of being lonely as they got older. And I'm like, that's a nice bonding moment between Kyle and Garcelle because, that's real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are getting older. Their kids are getting older. Like, life is moving on. And so you are going to have to make those adjustments. Dorit and Sutton were having their own conversation. And Sutton was saying, she knows what Dorit is going through. And she wants her to know that she's there for her if she needs her. And so, Dorit was like, thank you. I'm appreciative of that because I've been stressed for the last 2 years and I'm going through a lot. And Sutton was reflecting on her marriage. And she was saying that it got to a point where she had to ask herself if that's what she wanted the rest of her life to look like. And Dorit was like, I never felt more alone and vulnerable in my life. And she started reflecting on her and Sutton's relationship in the past. So we get all of the flashbacks of Dorit and Sutton and their heated moments. And Dorit was basically saying how she was so grateful for Sutton's support because she didn't really expect it. So Sutton says she doesn't know if Dorit is going to get divorced, but if it does happen, she'll sit in the room with her. And I'm assuming she means the courtroom. But I'm just like, damn, Sutton, can you wait? I don't know. The way Sutton wants to be there for Dorit is way different than the way Erica wants to be there for Dorit because I feel like Sutton is I'm not gonna say she's getting off at wanting to see Dorit get divorced, but it seems like she's the number one cheerleader for it to happen, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it's because she's projecting or because she had also been through a similar thing with her marriage, but I don't really. And in the after show, Dorit was saying that she really wanted to believe that what Sutton was saying was true, that she can lean on her. But Sutton was saying that she understands what Dorit is going through because her son was also the same age as Dorit's son when she got divorced. So she really just wants to offer her help. I still don't know how I feel about it. Sutton and Dorit keep saying they haven't seen like certain sides of each other, but I don't think that that's true. I think that they've seen a lot of sides of each other and they just don't want to believe it. And Sutton can be a little bit, how do I say it? I don't want to say Sutton is two-faced, but she kind of is in a way. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know, like Sutton just gives me a vibe that I'm not really liking this season. Like I never really had an issue with Sutton, but like this season, I'm not really liking her. Back to the Garcelle and Kyle conversation. Garcelle asked how Mauricio's doing. Kyle said that he's good, and he came over for Mother's Day and he cooked for her. Garcelle brought up the irony of PK and Mauricio being connected, and Kyle dropped the bomb that PK reaches out to her. So after Kyle dropped that bomb, they cut right back to the scene where Dorit was saying that she's very protective of herself and who she trusts right now. And I thought that was so funny because what do you mean he's reaching out to you? Like when you say reach out, is he calling you? Is he texting you? Is he DMing you? Is he what does that mean? And what is he reaching out to you about? Because if my husband was reaching out to my homegirl, I would have a problem. I would have a problem. And you're not telling me, and he not really calling me and communicating with me, but he's calling you like, not really feeling that, not really feeling that, not really feeling that. But anyways, on the other side of the boat, we got Bose, Kathy, Erica, and Jennifer. So Jennifer was asking Bose if they're ever going to meet her man, and Bose was explaining how she met her man, Keely, through his nephew, and they've been dating for 8 months. And I think that they make a beautiful couple, I'm not going to lie to you. Kathy asked Bose when she first went through like the death of her husband, how was that for her, I guess. And Bose said that she became more focused on herself and her career and her child. And Bose said that dating hadn't been easy for her since then. She thinks men have been intimidated by her success or her height or her child. And I don't know. I think that it's a combination of those things, and like what we see with PK and Dorit. Men are intimidated by women's success. Like, we all know that Bose is a boss. Like, that's a no-brainer, right? She's a very accomplished woman. And so a lot of men don't want to be with accomplished women because they feel like it takes from them. A lot of men want to feel needed. And I don't know why society has made this thing where it makes men feel like they have to be needed, because there's a lot of strong-ass women out there that do not need a man. But we live in a world where it's a man's world, so what else do people want to think, right? She said the man that she was dating before Keely was a liar and a con artist. And so Erica was like, how did you find out? And Bose was saying she asked if he was still sleeping with his ex. And she said that she found out that he was. And I guess from there, everything had happened. And, she found out, whatever the case may be. Jennifer also opened up about once dating a con artist. She said that it's insane to think that you will come across somebody like that when you're being very honest. She recalled times that she go out to restaurants with him and she had to hand her card over to him and so he could pretend he was paying for dinner. And I just find that to be a little bit tacky because I don't know, like, if I'm Jennifer Tilly, I'm not handing you my card so you can, well, you know what? I can't even say that though, because you know what? I can't act like money is everything. Like, at the end of the day, she has her own money. Not, well, her own money. She has money from the settlement from her divorce, I'll say. Right? Right. So I just feel like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's disheartening. That's what I'll say. It's not tacky. It's disheartening because it just goes to show you like money is really not everything. And that's why like I say in all of these housewife shows, recaps and stuff like that, I just feel like these shows really teach you a lot about, you can have it all. You can have the money, you can have the fame, you can have the status. But when it comes to real true love and like, real friendship and things like that, like that's the stuff that really matters. And those are the things that are a lot more harder to receive when you do have it all. It shows you what really matters in life. And so it was just really sad to hear that these ladies are like out here dating con artists. Like, yikes, as accomplished as they are, like, we're not gonna sit here and act like Jennifer Tilly is a nobody living off her husband's money. Like, no, like she's very accomplished as well. She's an actress, I believe, right? Like she's like goated. Like she's in the Hollywood atmosphere. So I don't know. I didn't like that. But so the girls prepared to leave the boat and they went back to the hotel so they can relax and get ready for the night. Sutton told Dorit that she thinks that the captain is cute and she wanted to give him her number. And Kathy told Captain to carry Sutton off the boat, and they all gave him the message that she was interested. I wonder if he reached out to her. I would guess that he didn't after watching the episode, but who knows? They would have been cute though, I ain't gonna lie. So they were getting ready for dinner, and Sutton was saying how she had a speech prepared for the ladies for dinner. She said that after watching the fight between Kyle and Dorit and then talking to Dorit on the boat, she wants everybody to be supported, especially Dorit. And I thought it was interesting that she put emphasis on Dorit when Kyle was going through the same thing. But I guess it's because, like she said in the after show, Dorit has a son that's her age, so she understands a little bit more. So whatever. We get to the dinner scene at the rooftop bar. First of all of the ladies look stunning when they pulled up to the restaurant. Let me just say that. At the dinner table, Kyle took a picture of Bose, and Bose really liked the picture. She said she was going to send it to her man. So Kyle started asking all the girls, do y'all ever send new pics of y'all man when y'all are away? Erica was like, hell yeah. And I'm like, that's Erica Jane, baby girl. I'm like, I know Erica does. Like, Erica's just cut like that. Like, she just does that. I don't know what to say. Like, she just gives me that. Like, she's a sexy woman, I have to say. So Kathy was like, no, she doesn't, but she has her stored in the safe at the bank. Now that I've never heard nobody have some news stored in the safe at the bank. That is money. Kathy and Son laughed about Garcelle looking like she was like in love with the waiter, I guess. And Kathy was asking Garcelle, like, are you in love? And Garcelle was like, yeah, I'm in love with life. And so shortly after that, Garcelle asked Dorit a question about reposting something that Teddy put on Instagram. Now, Dorit was explaining that Teddy tagged her in a post regarding her dad's concert. It was a video of all of them on stage with Teddy's father. And I just felt like this is the thing, right? Garcelle, I'm really, I don't want to hop on the Garcelle hate train. Like, I don't want to do that. But you make it hard to defend you when you start trying to come at Dorit for something like stupid like this. This is so stupid. This is why Beverly Hills is falling off. This was so stupid. You try to get Dorit in a gotcha moment. The thing I hate about these shows, and like the thing I hate about Twitter, right? Everybody wants a gotcha moment. Like, oh, gotcha. Like, girl, like, she reposted something Teddy said. Like, who cares? Like, what? So it seemed like earlier that day, Garcelle and Sutton had a conversation about, I don't know, Dorit being a contradictory person or something like that. I don't know. Dorit clarified that Teddy tagged her and she reposted it like she would do any other day. And Garcelle was like, oh, just earlier you said that you and Teddy weren't friends. And so Dorit was like, I never said that. She just said that they weren't close. And she saw that it was to promote her father, so she reposted it. So they flashed back to the argument that Kyle and Dorit were having when Kyle was like, oh, you know, you're close with Teddy and you didn't defend her. Watch what happens live, blah, blah. And Dorit definitely said that they were not that close, but I never recalled Dorit saying that they weren't actually friends. So I'm gonna have to give Dorit her things at this point. Like, I feel like they all just fucking with Dorit just to like mess with her and bother her. Like, stop, like, just stop it. It was so stupid. I couldn't even believe they were sitting there arguing about that. So Kyle was in her interview like, oh, do we really think Grammy winner, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, John Mellencamp needs Dorit support on Instagram? And I'm like, she never said he needed her support. She never made it seem like, oh, if I post this, he's gonna have millions of people come out to his concert. Like, no, all she was doing was answering your question. And your question was, why did she repost it? Oh, Teddy tagged me. It looked like it was to support her father. So that's what I did. She never said John Mellencamp's career was on life support and, oh, he needs me to put this up. Like, I just didn't feel like that was the case. So I'm glad that that argument was short-lived at the table because that was stupid. And also, Erica like kind of whispered something to Kyle saying that she doesn't know if that's what Dorit said. I don't know. It wasn't really that serious either, but we'll get to that when they get on the sprinter to leave. So I do want to talk about some stuff from the after show. Dorit and Bose kind of agreed that the Instagram post stuff was nonsense. Dorit said that Garcelle had a bee in her bonnet in regards to her, and she made it abundantly clear that she doesn't like Dorit. So it's not shocking that she looked for some faults in Dorit and hop on the bandwagon to dislike her. Now, I will say, Dorit, I don't know what you mean by bees in her bonnet, but don't say that again, okay? Don't say that again. Sutton said that she hated talking about Teddy and she never would be friends with her. Dorit said she didn't even know Teddy was mad at her until Kyle let her know because Dorit didn't defend her at BravoCon. And Dorit said she was shocked when Teddy posted the story and tagged her, so she felt like it was no bad blood between them because why would you post me on your story if you're mad at me? You know what I'm saying? This is what confuses me about the ladies. I ain't gonna hold you. And the fact that we gave Teddy this much this episode, y'all might as well bring Teddy back at this point. You know what I'm saying? I know people don't really like Teddy. I don't know why. Why don't people like Teddy again? I forgot. I don't even know why people don't like Teddy. I feel like it was the point I didn't like Teddy too, but then I just like got over it because like, you know, it's a show. Like, what are we gonna keep not liking her for? But like, why don't people like Teddy? I think it might be because like she was mad close with Kyle. That's the only thing I could think of. But like, she didn't really bother me too much. I don't think. Whatever. Oh, you know what? It may be because of the Lisa Vanderpump puppy thing. Maybe that's why. But that's like seasons ago. We're gonna talk about this season. So yeah, I just feel like it wasn't like a big deal. I think they was blowing it all out of proportion, and that's that. So back at the dinner, Sutton asked the girls to stand up and listen to her speech. So she gave a speech about friendship and sisterhood not being perfect, but also they're all going through things together, so she wants them to like get along. And Erica sounded like she was over it in her interview, and she looked like she was over it at the table. The ladies all kind of look confused, but they seem to be going along with like ribbon ceremony or whatever. I will say, although it felt like some bullshit, it was nice to see Sutton be the one to kind of make an effort for all of the ladies to get along. Although later on in the episode, that kind of like dwindled down as she started acting cuckoo. But on the after show, Kyle was saying how the ribbon thing kind of felt like very sorority. Bose, Garcelle, and Jennifer were basically like asking like, why would Sutton do that? Sutton was saying she had been through a lot of bad with the women in the past years and she didn't want to continue on the same path. She wanted to bond with the women because there are already two women that are going through things. And Garcelle just wished that she would have gave her a heads up because she said it felt like a joke. Jennifer said she felt like it became a meme because everybody was referencing it in a negative way during the summer. Sutton said that she was sad about that because like that wasn't her intention. She didn't mean it as a joke. And you could tell she was getting like annoyed during the after show that nobody was taking her serious. I mean, I kind of felt a little bad for her, but then I was like, I don't know, like you're a little bit crazy. I don't know. When you do things like have ribbon ceremonies for like you want to get along with everybody, and then the next day you're like going off on Dorit in her face, yelling at her, you lost me. Dorit was saying she really wanted to believe that, but then the next day in the van, Sutton changed up, and that's exactly what I was saying. So Bose was saying that she thinks that maybe Sutton wants to be the leader of the group, and I never really thought about it like that until Bose said that out of her mouth, and because it kind of makes sense. Like Sutton really does want to be the main girl, like she wants to be the one in charge of all the girls. She wants to be like running it, like something. Nobody, like nobody takes you serious, as you can see. And I think that really hurts her because she wants to be that one. I don't think she wants to. How do I say it? I think she wants everybody to get along because she's making them get along. I think that she wants to be the one to take credit for the dynamics of the group. Like, oh, like I put this group together to make everybody get along. I don't think she cares that much about everybody getting along because if she did, she would have watched how she approached everybody the next day. Buzz was basically saying like that's not how you do things if you want power. The way you gain power is by building individual relationships with people in the group, and then it comes together organically. And I'm like, I'm taking some advice because Bose is the boss over around here. Like she's the one that's the one. So I'm gonna take advice from Bose before I take advice from a lot of the other ladies on the show because she seems to have her head on straight so far. Like she's pretty much the most interesting part of this season. I gotta be honest. Like she's like the breath of fresh air because I don't really care about Dorit and Kyle's argument. Like who cares? So, anyways, the next day, the ladies got ready to leave, and on the sprinters, Sutton said she didn't really sleep well the night before, but she was glad they liked her little ritual. And Garcelle said, like she said on the after show, she thought it was a joke. Sutton said she wanted to make the point that they could have disagreements and be truthful with one another. So Dorit interrupted and she was like, yeah, if we can be honest and open. So Sutton brought up how Erica whispered something over to Kyle, and Sutton said she felt like it was awkward being in a group of friends that'll talk about you behind your back, and she felt like it was very mean girl. But it's like, you do the same thing though, Sutton, because you were talking with Garcelle about Dorit the day before, talking about how she's a contradiction when she was talking about the whole Teddy thing. Garcelle brought that up, not you. I don't know. I feel like Sutton was reaching. I think she wanted to pick a fight with Erica, to be honest. I really don't even think that's what Erica was doing. I don't think she was talking negatively about Dorit. I doubt she was even being rude because if you want to think about it, Erica is the one who's really been there for Dorit this whole season. I mean, I guess you could say Kathy, but like, no. Erica has been there for Dorit this season, so I don't think that she would just sit there up and talk about Dorit in her face. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So again, Dorit clarified she never said anything about her and Teddy not being friends, because I guess that's what the whole whisper was about. And she said that they just weren't close. So Kyle and Sutton were like, oh, it's not about Teddy. Dorit was like, well, I feel like it is about Teddy. Erica said that she feels like it's about her underhanded comment to Kyle. And I agree. I think Sutton was trying to point at Erica and start a little argument, which is why Erica got so amped up, like, you said it, and her little bun fell off. I'm like, yeah, like, Erica, clock Sutton, please. I'm sorry. Like, it's never going to get old, Erica clocking Sutton. When she was, what did she say? That small town shit is so whack. That small town shit is so whack. Like, Erica is hilarious. So Garcelle reassured Dorit that it wasn't about Teddy and how they should all be able to call one another out and work through it. So at this point, like I said, Sutton is reaching. She's raising her voice at Dorit. And so Dorit started raising her voice back. So Sutton hit Dorit like, with the ma'am, don't raise your voice at me. Nah, 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 nah. And Sutton said that she was trying to get her point across after her attempt to bring the group together. So the funniest thing to me is how Kathy is just sitting on her phone throughout the whole thing. Like, I don't know how Kathy does it. But then again, I could. Like, honestly, just block the noise out because it's nonsense, right? Exactly. So Dorit said this is exactly what she means when she says she's never sure about which Sutton she's going to get. She was saying that the Sutton that she's seeing on the boat is different from the one that she's seeing on the sprinter. So Garcelle said everybody should be able to say anything in front of the group and understand that it may or may not be received well, but at least they're being honest. And Dorit was like, well, since everybody's being honest, it's annoying how Sutton can raise her voice, but when I raise my voice back at her, it becomes a problem. And I'm like, oh my God, because Sutton at this point is cutting Dorit off. She's not letting her speak. So Dorit was like, girl, okay, you're acting like a child. And that was the end of the story. And I'm just like, this group is a goddamn mess. Honestly, Sutton, like, I don't know how I feel about Sutton this season. She's kind of starting to get on my goddamn nerves. Honestly, I could do without her. I could do without Kyle. Garcelle, I'm a little on the edge about because I like Garcelle. And I don't want, like I said, I don't want to hop on a Garcelle hate train. But I can see how she can be a little annoying. But I'm still not going to do that because I like Garcelle. But yes, Kyle and Sutton, Y'all can go. Y'all can go. I don't care no more. I don't care. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to my channel to help me grow. Also, share this video with other people you know love to watch Bravo TV reality recaps. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram at mostlydarius and at the discussion. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.